Hello again, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink, here to share with you another Christmas card using both the Coming Home stamp set and the coordinating dies. They're available in our mini catalog at a 10% discount if you buy them together. And I'm really drawn to the black buffalo check print, and so I'm using our big background buffalo check stamp from the large catalog, as well as our stitched nested labels dies. I am using the 4th largest of those, and I've already cut that one. All of the supplies I'm using today I will post on my blog. So let's get started. So for this, I'm using my Stamparatus. I've got 2 quarter sheets of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I've got my buffalo check print stamp on the one plate, and I find it's the easiest because it's hard to get this to not move. I've applied a piece of double-sided sticky on the back of my Whisper White cardstock to keep it in place, because it's hard to keep these magnets when I'm trying to stamp the entire surface. The only other way you could do this would be to put a sheet larger than what you plan to use and then cut it down to size. So ink it up. The reason the Stamparatus is so much easier to use is because if I have a section that doesn't ink, I can put it back down and keep stamping. Let's see how well we did. Not too bad, but you notice this top corner requires just a little more pressure. Pretty close. I'm going to call that good enough, so I'm going to pull it off. All right, and set it aside. I'm going to take this plate off. Your Stamparatus will come with 2 plates. So for my second plate, I've got my photopolymer stamps. You'll notice that my buffalo check print was cling mount, and so I need my foam pad. And this is an extra pad you can buy that has the grid on it, and you'll find it's very helpful. So I'm going to put my template. So I've already cut out my stitched nested label. And so I'm going to keep the piece that I cut it out of and use it as a template. This is when I find one of the easiest ways to stamp on the pieces that I've already cut out. So I'm going to put it in here, and then I'm going to grab my other magnet. I've put some scrap pieces of washi tape on my magnets to keep them easier to pull off. And I've already attached a little house and a tree. So I'm going to take my Memento ink and ink up. I'm sure you can even see that. I can ink up my house. Then I'm going to use an Early Espresso Stampin' Write marker and the brush tip. And I'm just going to drag my brush tip along the edge to ink up my tree that is bare. It has no leaves on this one. Ink it up. Okay. Then I'm going to push down. Let's see how we did. Pretty good. So then I've got this piece done. And I'll set this out of the way. Clean those later. I also have a piece of scrap because I want to stamp my car and my little tree so that I can cut them out using my dies that coordinate. So I'll ink up my dies. Excuse me, my stamps. We don't ink dies. Stamp my car. I'll stamp the smallest of the trees. And I'll use Stampin' Blends to color these, and I won't color all of them, but to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm using Real Red for my car, and I will come with my darker and just put some of it on. And I'm going to grab the lighter. They come in a combo pack, a light and a dark. And to blend it, you certainly don't have to blend, but I like the look. So then I found what's best is to come in with my light and blend out the darker color. And the more you go over it, the more it blends. So, and I used a little bit of Seaside Spray for the windows. I used Smoky Slate for the wheels. Put a little of the dark in the center of the hubcap. And then I used the light to go around the rim. And the nice thing with blends is that we have what they call a color lifter. I kind of like to call it a color pusher because it pushes any oops back in. Because these are alcohol based, this pushes that color back where you wanted it so that you don't have to worry about if you had a mistake. It won't remove it completely, but it does push it back into itself. And for my tree, I used the dark Mossy Meadow, and I came across. And then I'm going to bring in my light Mossy Meadow. And again, going to come over that dark and just drag it into the uncolored section, and it'll blend it where I don't have any lines. Come across. Like so. And for my tree trunk, what I used was soft suede, the dark of the two colors for the tree trunk. So I'm going to set that aside somewhere. I dropped my car I already cut out. There. So then I want to work on my house. And what I did with the house is I used crumb cake. And so I want to come in. This one I'm going to do dark crumb cake up here on the accent of the front of the house. And then I'm going to use the light crumb cake to color in all of the trim and the base. All of our Stampin' Blends have two tips. I tend to use this bullet tip more than I do the brush tip. But if you're covering a large space, you might use the other end, which is a brushed end. Has a lot more ink that will come out of that. I find I have better control if I use the bullet tip. Okay, so I've got my house base. And I'm going to use the light Real Red marker to color my door. I could blend this, but I'm going to choose not to. And the last thing I'm going to do is give myself some window color. So I'm going to color in again with that soft, or that Seaside Spray. I think it makes a nice window color. So then to finish everything off, I'm going to open up my Seaside Spray ink. And there's a little snowflake stamp that comes. And I set aside my stamp pierce mat. So I'm going to stamp it full strength and then off, full strength and off, full strength and off, so that I have some snowflakes on the back of my little window. And then to put the card together, I'm going to fold my half sheet of basic black cardstock in half. I've already scored it. I'm going to attach, you see my piece of double-sided sticky on here. Pull that off. And attach it with some of my Stampin' Seal. Right in the middle. And make it this way. Kind of have a rustic look going on here. Okay, I'm going to attach again with some Stampin' Seal my stitched nested label die, or my piece I cut out from that. I'm going to put it toward the top third of my card, like so. And then on my little car and my tree, I want it to look like it's coming home on it. So I'm going to put a little bead of glue using my multi-purpose liquid glue, just a little bit on the bottom of the tree, and I'm going to glue it on the top of my car in such a way that it doesn't look like he can be blinded. There we go. And then I'm going to put some of our mini dimensionals on the back to pop it up. One more. Okay. The fun part's always getting those backs off, especially when you don't have any nails. Mine had one break, so I don't have long nails today. So then what I did is I popped it up and kind of just a little below. So it's bringing it home. Then to pop out the words, I am using the Word Wishes dies. They coordinate with a Wish for Everything stamp set, which I will use one of those greetings for on the inside. So I used the Merry and the Christmas little pieces here. And I have attached a piece of our adhesive sheets. They come in a 6 by 12 inch piece. I've cut this down. And they are split in 2-inch increments. And so I've got a piece of Whisper White, or excuse me, Real Red cardstock. What I found worked real well. Peel it off. I tend to use mine in those 2-inch strips. Lay it down on top of it, like so. Then I can cut my greetings out. That's how I did that. So then all I need to do is pull that backing off. And so I'm going to, my pickup tool and the little pokey end works really well to help grab that adhesive. So I'm going to attach my Merry. Go a little lower. So then I have Christmas, and I need to do the same thing, be able to get that off. Nice pop, and then I have my little itty bitty dot, which is always so much fun. I may need to use my pickup for that one. And you'll see that it also has a little bit of adhesive on the back of it. It can be a little fun to get off. So I'm going to grab that little backing. There we go. To get my dot of my eye for Christmas. On there, like so. And then for my inside, you've got to do something. So again, I'm going to pull out my Stamparatus. I now do not need this extra layer. So I'm going to take my other sheet. I'm going to come up in the corner here. I want to grab one of my magnets. And on the other side of my Stamparatus, I have put the greeting, a merry little wish for lots of joy this season. And so I want to ink it up using my Memento ink again. I'm going to bring it down. And then I want to add something on the inside, give it a little more interest. So I'm going to stamp one tree, and I'm going to come up in this corner with it. And I will color that. And make sure to keep your magnets one away from one another. They don't play well together. And then I would color in my little tree on the inside. Let's just make it real quick. I'm just going to use just my lighter colors, and then I don't have to blend. Kind of give you an idea. It's a little bit of effort, but the nice thing is you can make all of this in whatever color you desire to make it. So then all I need is a little bit of my Stampin' Seal again. I can add it to the inside of my card. And I have kind of a country Christmas card, and I think you could do this in all kinds of different ways. I had made one earlier in a different color combination. This is Merry Merlot on the basic black, and then some of our silver foil with the Merry Christmas. And then to make a Merry Merlot card using our Stampin' Blends, I used the dark Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blend, and then the dark Blackberry Bliss on top of it. And it came pretty close, I think, to mimicking Merry Merlot, because we do not have a Merry Merlot Stampin' Blend. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that. If you will subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it. And if you'll make some comments, I will do a drawing and send this card to one of the people who comment. So have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday.